Hi everyone, it's Jen from Wealth Saver Travel. Today I'm going to be walking you through my process for biweekly budgeting. It's also called budgeting per paycheck. So if you haven't seen my zero-based budgeting video, you can check that out. I'll put that in the description down below. But basically what I do is a zero-based budget on a biweekly basis instead of a monthly basis. I do it because I have an irregular income, and so budgeting per paycheck is easier for me because I know exactly how much money I have to work with instead of guessing what my income will be. Also, if you haven't seen the video where I talk about how I organize my money, you might want to see that as well. I'll pop that in the description down below. So I'm going to be walking you through my exact process, showing you my real budgeting numbers. So I've got my budget binder. If you haven't seen this, it's on my blog and it's also on Etsy. It has everything in it that I use every 2 weeks to budget our money. Okay, let's get started. All right, guys, so here we go. So the first thing I'm going to fill in is the dates of this pay period. So today my payday is February 7th. And the pay period will end on February 20th. And the second thing I'm going to fill in is my biweekly pay. So then I know this is how much money I have to divide up in my budget. So the first thing I'm going to do is put in all the things that I know are coming out, so my fixed expenses and my sinking funds and my savings. So I know every payday my mortgage is coming out. I know every payday that $175 is going to retirement. 35 is going to Christmas and gifts. 200 is going into travel. And that's it. So the next thing I'm going to do is look at expenses that will come up within the pay period. So I know I'm going to have a power. This power is actually a sinking fund that I pay our power bill from. I know that we donate money to Feed Nova Scotia every month. Our TELUS bill will come out. Netflix. Alright, so after I've filled out the fixed expenses and the sinking funds and savings, the next step is to add it up so that you know how much you'll have for your variable expenses. So I've added it up and I'm going to write that number in the fixed expenses and sinking funds budgeted column. So the next step I'm going to do is subtract So I've added it all up, and so this is how much I have left to spend on my variable expenses. So the first thing I'm going to do with my variable expenses is actually go through my phone and look at the calendar and see what we have coming up. So after I've looked at my calendar, I know that my dog has a grooming appointment, so I'll have to put that under pets. And it's also Valentine's Day, and my husband and I are going out to a lacrosse game. So I'll know that I'll probably put something under eating and entertainment, just for fun. So I know that we average about $60 every 2 weeks for gas. We don't have any car maintenance appointments, not planning on buying any clothes. We average about $150 bi-weekly for groceries. I know Ellie has a grooming appointment. That'll be about $70. And then she also is getting low on treats, so we'll get her some of that. So I'm going to budget $90 for the pets. So I don't have anything going on here. I'm going to put $100 under entertainment. So the next thing I'm going to do is add up our variable expenses. So that's about $400. So once I add up the budgeted fixed expenses and sinking funds and the budgeted variable expenses, I know it's less than my income. So what I like to do is have that amount as a buffer, and then I'll show you what I do at the end of the pay period. So at the end of the pay period, what I do is I sign into my online banking so that I can go over the transactions and fill in the amount that we've spent. So I'm going to start with the fixed expenses again. Okay, so once I've filled those in, I'm going to start down here and start adding up what we spent. Okay, so the last step is to add up these two sections. Alright, so this is my top one. So we actually came in a little under budget over the top. And then I'm going to add up this section. So we did come in a little bit over budget under in the variable expenses. We ended up going out to eat when we didn't quite plan on it, but we also had planned more in gas because we had planned on going to visit some friends, which ended up meeting them for dinner. So it did make us go a little bit over budget, but we did not spend more than we made. So in that case, I'm okay with it. So the last step is to subtract your total income from the total amount that you've spent. So we did not spend $244.74 of our paycheck in the last 2-week period. So what I do with this money is I usually put it towards a savings goal. Right now we have a big goal to save for a new car, so it'll be going over there. All right, you guys, that's exactly how we budget every 2 weeks in our household on payday. If you get paid monthly, of course, you can do once a month. If you're on a salary, you can definitely do monthly budgeting. It's a lot easier, but if you don't know what your paycheck's going to be, then this is the way that I find the most helpful. So I hope you found that helpful. If you did, if you could just give me a thumbs up down below. If you have any questions, you can pop them in the comments and I'll help you out there. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I'll see you again soon. Bye.